What's up YouTube? Drew here. Today I want to talk about the newest ship in Disney Cruise Line's fleet, the Disney Treasure. For those of you who are going on this brand new ship or are just interested in what it has to offer, today we are going to be going over the top 10 new and most exciting things that are a part of this ship. And if you aren't following me yet over on Twitter at DrewDisneyDude or subscribed here on YouTube, make sure to do so, as this is my first video on Disney Cruise Line, in addition to the next 5 years of projects that we have for Disney parks around the world, and even the expansion of the Disney Cruise Line fleet. And I will be covering all of that here for all of you, so make sure to follow me over on Twitter and subscribe here. With that being said, let's dive into the Disney Treasure. A big part of what makes a Disney cruise different is the Disney brand. There's no denying that. And with the Disney Cruise Line fleet, a part of every ship we've seen so far is that iconic horn with the "When You Wish Upon a Star" melody. But with the Disney Treasure, Walt Disney Imagineering went all out here, and there are 7 exclusive horns just for the Disney Treasure that tie into the themes of the ship. So those themes that you will hear will be things that I mentioned throughout this video, specifically with what I would talk about next. So take a listen here to A Whole New World ship horn in a video that Disney Cruise Line shared recently. But like I mentioned, that ties into my next point, which is the Grand Hall on the Disney Treasure. It is beautiful, and in my opinion, compared to the Disney Wish with this Wish class ship, the Treasure is the sister ship to the Wish. I like the Grand Hall on the Treasure a lot more with this theming around Aladdin, and especially how you have this beautiful statue of Aladdin and Jasmine front and center with the magic carpet as if they have been flying around the Grand Hall. It just feels a lot more warm and welcoming. So definitely a big improvement here for the Treasure. Next up, we have Disney The Tale of Moana, and another big part of the Disney Cruise Line experience are these Broadway style shows at the Walt Disney Theater. And that's no different for the Disney Treasure, as Disney Live Entertainment has brought their A game with Disney The Tale of Moana, the first ever stage adaptation of Moana, the original animation film from 2016. About perfect timing with this one, as Moana 2 has just released in theaters. But this is a retelling of Moana, and it also features the largest puppet ever on a Disney cruise ship with Te Kā. This has been a big part of this show, with this puppetry and how it's larger than life with those classic songs from Moana that we know and love. And I think that this one is going to be a massive hit. So if you're going on the Disney Treasure, make sure to see Disney The Tale of Moana at the Walt Disney Theater. Up next, this one needs absolutely no explanation whatsoever, but I've got to talk about it. That is none other than the Haunted Mansion Parlor. Personally, the main reason why I started following the development of the Disney Treasure is because this is the first time we have ever seen Disney parks stories being told on the sea. And what better way to start off with one of the greatest Disney parks attractions of all time, the Haunted Mansion. Something that people have given feedback on in recent years is that Disney concept art doesn't match the final product, but this is a perfect example of saying that the final product looks better than the concept art. Walt Disney Imagineering and Disney Cruise Line absolutely nailed this one. From the exclusive merchandise and drinks here, to the hitchhiking ghosts and Madame Leota appearing in that window in the back, to even a statue celebrating legendary Disney Imagineer Rolly Crump, even to where it looks like his original idea for the Haunted Mansion, the Candleman. This is just a brilliant use of storytelling, combining Disney parks with Disney Cruise Line, and I hope that going forward, we see even more things like this on Disney Cruise Line, and hopefully one day a Haunted Mansion restaurant at a Disney park somewhere around the world. Keeping in theme here with the food and dining on the Disney Treasure, up next I've got Plaza de Coco. This is the world's first theatrical dining experience based around Walt Disney Animation Studios' Coco. And keeping with what I said about the Haunted Mansion Parlor, this looks phenomenal. The environment here is also very warm, and welcoming, and it looks like you've stepped into the world of Coco, except you're on a cruise ship. If you're headed on the Disney Treasure, you're going to experience 2 evenings at Plaza de Coco with the characters from the film for a night filled with music. This also looks phenomenal. I mean, honestly, everything about the Disney Treasure looks phenomenal, at least what we've talked about so far. Moving on to another Disney park story featured on the Disney Treasure, we have Skipper Society, and I'm sure all of you have picked up by now, this is the lounge themed after the Jungle Cruise, and there are tons of Easter eggs and nods and details to the Jungle Cruise around the world here in this lounge, as well as specialty drinks. And that archway with the animals as well also looks beautiful. So while it's more simple compared to the Haunted Mansion Parlor, if you're a fan of the Jungle Cruise, make sure to check out Skipper Society. Next up, we have the Periscope Pub, the pub based around the former Walt Disney World attraction, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That is where Seven Dwarfs Mine Train sits today over in New Fantasyland. This is a more abstract story to be featured from Disney parks, as it no longer exists out here at Walt Disney World. So there is a lot of detail here and care from the attraction at Walt Disney World, as well as some very cool merchandise options, all based around that submarine theming. So also make sure to check out the Periscope Pub on the Disney Treasure if you're a fan of these Disney park stories. Next up, we have the Scat Cat Lounge. This is the first ever piano lounge based around the Walt Disney Animation Studios film, The Aristocats, something that I was not expecting for this ship at all. But what I like about this lounge is that it combines the theming from the Aristocats as well as pulls directly from that architecture, which I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video with that Agrabah theming in the Grand Hall. So Walt Disney Imagineering blended the movie theming with that theming to keep in theme of the ship. But if you're a fan of the piano and the Aristocats and some fun and interesting cat-themed drinks, well, this is the lounge for you. Everyone always says calories don't count at Disney, right? Which is something that I agree with and is definitely worth noting for this next one that we're going to be talking about, Jumbo's Sweets, which is a quick service treat option on the Disney Treasure, a smaller version of Jumbo's Cafe, which we saw over at Shanghai Disneyland at their Zootopia Land. But Jumbo's Sweets looks like the perfect little area based around Zootopia. My favorite part of this area is how Walt Disney Animation Studios worked alongside Walt Disney Imagineering to create this exclusive figure of Nick and Judy with this giant bowl of ice cream. Looked like they have stepped right out of the screen. There's even some lemmings here eating their little popsicles with a hyper tube. And if you really want an awesome souvenir, the Disney Treasure has an exclusive ice cream truck container that you can only get at Jumbo's Sweets. So if you want some sweet treats while you're on the ship, well then make sure to stop by Jumbo's Sweets. Next up, we have the Tomorrowland Tower Suite, and this thing, it looks pretty sweet. This is a 2,000-foot suite themed after Epcot, and as a diehard parks fan, hopefully one day I get to stay here. Some of you at home are probably thinking the same thing, but this suite is just packed with very unique art and details that we've never even seen featured at Epcot. And I love how Figment is featured here, from the original Epcot concept art to those park pavilion icons. If you're an Epcot lover and you're able to afford the suite, well, I would suggest it because it just looks so unique, and this is the only one that exists. So if you are headed on the Disney Treasure, I hope you have a fantastic time and take advantage of all of these brand new and exclusive offerings that are available only on this ship. Myself, I definitely look forward to checking out all of the Disney park stories like we talked about through this video. Again, if you aren't subscribed here on YouTube, make sure to do so, as I'll be covering the next 5 years of Disney experiences worldwide, from every single Disney park to the Disney Cruise Line fleet, and over on Twitter at DrewDisneyDude. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you all in my next one.